What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down why tomorrow could be another huge day for the markets as we do have Jerome Powell speaking. So with that said, he could make some very big announcements involving interest rates, the real estate market, and the current state of our economy that are going to be very big for the markets. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear Jerome Powell like right now of all times, but he may say something super big. So I want to warn everyone about that and talk about when he's actually going to be speaking. I'm also going to break down some big pieces of news affecting NIO, some very bullish moves that they have been making that make me very bullish for the long term, and also break down what the NIO put on their Twitter page, which is once again very bullish news for the long term as NIO has very secure systems. Now, before I get started though, before I get into any details, I still have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, any of these 12 free stocks could be a free Tesla share, a free NIO share, or a mix of all of them. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 3 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. NIO was down 2.44% for the day. I mentioned to everyone that NIO had that risk of kind of like fighting that $17 range. I mentioned that we could get a bounce off of that, but I actually anticipated that NIO would close pretty flat, not like down at 2%. And sometimes it does take bigger hits than you would anticipate. That's because of what's going on with the overall economy, how shorts are really piling in, and also the price action of SPY that really did affect everything from the left and the right. So let me actually break down what's going on with SPY, guys, because something very big happened. So SPY ended up breaking below the low that we made back in June. Very, very crazy stuff, guys. This is the lowest we've seen SPY for the whole year. Now, the question is, where is SPY going to go? And this is something that's very big. So, the SPY is continuing to respect the downtrend. We didn't get as nice of a bounce as we could have gotten. The bulls are still looking pretty weak. Now, with that said, it's looking like the SPY could actually retest 360 flat again tomorrow, and we may even break below it. But do not panic, because there is something very important here. Let me first pull up my weekly chart on SPY. Notice the EMAs over the last decade. What happened? You will remember the fact that there are very few instances where we actually break below the 200 EMA, and we tend to actually bounce off of it. So unless there is like something that causes like a flash crash or some like crazy crash, whether it's like Taiwan or something that happens in like Russia, or if we just continue to drop the way we are right now, it's looking like the SPY might actually get a bounce off this 200 EMA, or at least try to hold it for some time. And we did actually come below it. So the 200 EMA, if you can't see, is this red line right here. Notice how we came below it in 2008. We spent a couple of months below it, but then we pushed immediately back above it. Now, besides 2008, since then, I mean, we've been holding above it. We came down in 2016. We actually did not come down below it. 2018 we came close to it. We didn't break below it when the market started tanking. Then finally in 2020, when the market crashed, we had a flash crash. In a couple of weeks, we dropped below it, but then like 2 weeks later, we came right back above it. And since then, the market tends to hold this range very, very tightly. So we're coming very close to it right now. Now, I'm not saying we won't break below it, but I am saying that we have a tendency of trying to hold this line, and I do believe we're going to fight for it. The bulls are going to start coming in around this 359 to 358 range. That's where the 200 EMA would be on the weekly. With that said, we could get a small bounce off of that, and I do believe that the SPY might continue to downtrend, guys. It's not looking that great, to be honest with you. Still looks pretty bearish. Let me just break down more indicators. And just because, things happen in history, they don't guarantee that it's going to happen again. So looking at how oversold it is, RSI, I mean, it's starting to push up on the 5 minute. Let me actually look at the daily. On the daily, I mean, it's still just not looking good, to be honest with everyone. It looks like we are going to retest it. So that could be very big for us. What does this mean for NIO stock? Well, considering that tomorrow Jerome Powell is speaking, we could see some crazy volatility in the markets. He's going to be speaking at 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. Powell has something big to say in a pre-recorded message at the 2022 Community Banking Research Conference in St. Louis, Missouri. So that's important because this is going to happen like 45 minutes after the market opens. He can make some big announcements. I don't truly know what he's going to say, so be ready, guys, at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow. If he says something and the market crashes again, it's not going to look good for NIO, to be honest with everyone. Now, NIO is coming very close to this this double bottom like formation. I'm going to be watching that 16.5 zone. Hopefully, we could get a bounce like right over here, just to make this as clear as possible. Now, for support and resistance levels on NIO, if NIO breaks below 17, because we were fighting to hold 17, guys, and overall, I mean, we didn't do the best of job. We did actually push below it, and we did touch 16.98, and we were looking kind of choppy for the day. So if we break below 17, we're going to come to that 16.5 level as the next major support zone, and that is where we got a big bounce last time. So hopefully we get a bounce off that. If not, 16.12 is in the question. Now, additionally, if we push up, 17.4 followed by 18 are going to be key resistance levels. Watch those very carefully. For tomorrow, with Powell speaking, the market could actually come down a bit. So please be very, very careful. It is a pre-recorded message, but then again, it doesn't matter because during these times, you never know what could be said. So for tomorrow, I'm anticipating NIO is going to push up with the whole market like this, retest the 200 EMA, and I don't know if NIO is going to have enough juice to like really, really push close to like 18. I am anticipating something very similar to today that happened. We push up to about 17.6, then we're going to come down. I wouldn't be surprised if the market's choppy again, especially after Powell speaks. And if the SPY doesn't get like a big hold of 360, we could come down to that 200 EMA level, and that could bring the market down. NIO is likely going to fight for 17. I'm hoping we could hold 17 because if we don't hold it, we could end up closing very close to the high 16s. Hopefully, we balance and close like around 16.8, 16.9 around there. But if we don't get a bounce, this thing has the potential to test 16.5, which is where we have very strong support. So be on the lookout for that zone. We could even like actually test it tomorrow if things don't really go our way. Now, from a fundamental standpoint, NIO is still a very strong company despite what the market is doing. If we look at some big pieces of news that came out, NIO did warn everyone that the energy crisis in Europe is slowing down the expansion, and that's because of the fact that it's very difficult for them to really move forward with everything that's going on. We're seeing big shortages in electricity. It's becoming a lot more expensive, and this is having a big effect on consumer demand as well across Europe. On top of that, we're seeing this right here. NIO has actually bought a stake in Greenwing to secure lithium for their batteries, which is a very good business move that they made. This is actually a place in Australia. So this lithium company is actually agreeing to let NIO actually pay $12 million to subscribe. And this actually gives them not just a lot of shares, which actually have an issue price of 55 cents per share, but on top of that, NIO now owns 12.16% of the company, and they will have the right to be nominated to the company's board of directors as long as it holds at least 10% of the shares. So once again, very, very good move by NIO because this really helps them really pick up on their supply of lithium, and this could also be an asset for them in the future as well. Now, looking at the data, NIO has a tendency of dropping with SPY. The price pairs ratio is going up because NIO is not as, how should I say, it's not like dropping as much as SPY in a way. But at the same time, I mean, it does have an effect overall. Now, NIO is in a very key zone. If we don't hold 17, not going to be the best of signs. And right here, let me just show you the short interest. It's still relatively high compared to like these zones right here back in like August when the market was more bullish. So there are lots of shorts still piling in. We are seeing these moves continuing to be made. So there was something else I want to show you. I don't know if it's still here. But anyways, overall, guys, looking at the seasonal trends right here, this is what I was looking for. NIO has a tendency of actually being green on Wednesdays more often than not. It's just that I'm a little bit concerned to really make that claim just yet because I'm very worried about SPY because SPY does not look the best just yet. SPY looks like it could come down below 360. We could end up retesting 358. I'm hoping we bounce off that, because if we don't, then this could have a bad effect on the markets. But it is very likely we do end up doing that. Now, as far as the data is showing, we can see that NIO put on their Twitter page that they're honored to be recognized as the 2022 Stratus Award winner of the Cloud Security Service category. So once again, among 59 other leaders in the cloud industry. So it really shows how secure their security systems are at NIO and why they want the best for every single one of their customers, because they know how important these issues could be for everyday people. So once again, they're doing very, very good. However, good pieces of news are not translating into green days just yet in the markets. All right, so please remember this. Give the market time and we will see big improvements. But for NIO, it's just a big waiting game. Now, if we do manage to hold $17, I'm not as confident in us actually doing that. But if we do, would be a good sign that NIO could push back to this 18 level. But as of right now, we were pretty choppy. We are kind of shaky around that 17 zone. So I'm going to have to be very, very patient and see how it really goes. So please be ready, guys. All right. The market's just not in the best of states. It's affecting NIO, but I'm still very bullish long term. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Get ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a very big day. NIO to the moon, and peace out.